is that there have been many people at the company I work at, AeroVironment, AC Propulsion, but also, curiously, people right within General Motors who have worked very, very hard to make this a reality, and they've done good work. And they need to be remembered. And I sometimes feel sorry for them that they will, by society, be identified with their company who has canceled this. But these were people who worked very hard and who shared in the vision. And I hope this is a time where we honor those people and respect them. In closing, I just want to say the future is very bright. The soul grows brighter with time. Technology cannot be buried. You can bury implements, but you cannot bury ideas. The ideas will continue on, will continue to grow as they have, and we will see these ideas take various forms in hybrid vehicles, in pure electrics. The real question then is who will be the beneficiary. It kind of reminds me like the computer age. The typewriter companies could not stop the advent of computers. It's reported there was a CEO with a large computer company in 1978 who was asked the question about computers in the home. Did he see a place for this? And I suppose he was thinking about computers of 1978, which were great big expensive things, and he said, quote, "I can't see why anyone would want to have a computer in their home." It's also reported that people in the car companies have said, quote, "We will never do that again." And I believe, like the computer person, their words will haunt them in future days. Thank you.
So many people who feel moved to speak. I'd like to ask them to please keep their comments as brief as they can. It's with honor we bring up a council member from this district and a driver of the EV1, Eric Garcetti.
Yeah.
Thank you and good afternoon. First of all, let me thank Hollywood Forever Cemetery for having us here today. It shows their passion for community, for our environment, for allowing us to gather here today in a community setting here. So I want to thank them here in the heart of Hollywood to celebrate a star that has passed. I was an EV1 driver, still am, from 1998 until December of this year, when GM will have to pry it out of my Charger's dead cold hand. And for me it was and has been a wonderful 5-6 year journey to be able to have the support of a family of electric car drivers, people who believe in changing not only our city and our region, but our world. And we took back the title of being the smoggiest city in America last year from Houston. And I think more now than ever before, we have to make sure that we do things to make these deaths less frequent, to bring cars in that clean up our air, to bring in policies that clean up our environment. And I want to thank you all for the commitment that you made personally to being the pioneers to make that happen. I'll just say two things really briefly in closing. There was a lot of support in government for this. The city of Los Angeles now has more than a quarter of all of its vehicles have some sort of alternative fuel in them, whether it's the trash trucks that pick up your garbage or whether it's the fleet vehicles that we have like the EV behind us. But know too that we couldn't get the car companies to sell us what we wanted as a city and what you wanted as our constituents. And so we have to send that signal that today is not just a death, but it's a rebirth of our movement here. That all of you can do something. That cleaning up the air isn't just about electric cars, it's about insisting that your DWP invest in renewable energy the way that private utilities have to. Write your council members, write the board of the DWP, insisting that we have that sort of renewable energy. Redouble your efforts so that we know that this death is not in vain, that we will always remember you, EV1. I have two great-grandparents who are buried here today, and it mourns me to add another member of the family to this cemetery. But know that in death there is meaning, that we will, we can, and we must clean up our world, and together we can do that. Thank you.
Gage. I'm president of AC Propulsion. I'm speaking for Alan Cacconi, who couldn't be here today, and it's too bad because he's always interesting to listen to. But he's doing what he does best, and that is design, develop, build, and test electric vehicles. So we should all be glad that he's back there doing his job. All I want to say here today is make one point about electric cars and their role in the future in this country. And I think back to when the EV1 was introduced at the LA Auto Show. I believe it was in 1997, and the atmosphere was literally electric in more ways than one. It was just the audience, everybody there was extremely excited. I can remember that feeling very well. And now this is a sadder occasion. I don't see it as a death because, as Wally said, ideas don't die, especially good ideas. And what we have here is a good idea. This is a really great country, and we should all be proud of what we have here, and we should be willing to fight for what's great in this country and defend it against its enemies. Unfortunately, one of those enemies is us. We are addicted to gasoline in this country. We are 5% of the world's population. We use 45% of the world's gasoline. It's been nice while it lasted, but it can't last much longer. People in India and China aspire to the level of automobility we have in this country, and they have every reason to and every right to. But if they were to start using gasoline at the rate we use it, there wouldn't be enough gasoline. There wouldn't even be close. So we have to stop using as much gasoline. We have to give up gasoline, and that's why we should buy and drive cars that plug in. Hybrids are okay; they save gas, but they still rely 100% on gasoline. They are efficient, but they don't use electricity. Only cars that plug in use electricity, and electricity is an excellent fuel. It's plentiful, it's domestic. To a large degree, it's very clean. A lot of it is renewable. It comes from the sun, from the wind. It's an excellent fuel for cars. Forget about hydrogen. It's not very efficient, and it's too far off to do much good. It's 25 years off. Electricity is the fuel. So what should we do? Well, my company, AC Propulsion, other companies like AeroVironment, and there are a lot of other companies in California and around the country, are working to develop electric cars that they can bring to market and sell to people.